If you are a civilian, the truth is simple. World War III was not made for you. Not because you are weak, not because you are unintelligent, but because the modern war system does not include civilians as a functional part. Soldiers are trained to operate inside chaos. Civilians are trained to live inside stability. When stability disappears, civilians lose footing. Soldiers switch modes. That difference decides everything. A soldier does not need to think about what to do when things go wrong. They execute protocols. They follow rules repeated hundreds of times under stress. A civilian must decide everything from scratch. Where to go, what to do, who to trust, when to act. And every decision costs mental energy. In modern warfare, mental energy is more valuable than physical strength. The first major problem civilians face in total war is the wrong objective. Soldiers have a clear mission. Even when it changes, there is command structure and purpose. Civilians have no mission. They have fear, fragmented information, and emotional urgency. That makes civilians act to relieve feelings, not to accomplish objectives. Relieving feelings almost always leads to mistakes. The second problem is movement without function. Soldiers move for tactical reasons: cover, terrain, timing. Civilians move from impulse to escape, to search, to do something. In modern war, movement without function turns you into a target, even when no one is actively shooting. The third problem is false expectation. Civilians believe help will arrive, that rules still exist, that someone is in control. Soldiers do not believe this. They operate assuming no immediate help is coming. That difference changes everything. While civilians wait for guidance, time passes. While civilians seek confirmation, windows close. While civilians hesitate, conditions worsen. Another critical point is risk interpretation. Civilians react to visible danger: noise, explosions, screaming. Soldiers react to probable danger: what has not happened yet, but will. In modern war, the most lethal threats are invisible at first. Wrong movement, wrong consumption, prolonged exposure, poor shelter choice. Civilians notice danger too late. There is also a fatal psychological error. Civilians try to act like soldiers. They think they need to be aggressive, faster, more daring. But civilians lack training, support, logistics, and margin for error. When a soldier fails, a system absorbs the failure. When a civilian fails, they pay alone. Modern war punishes improvisation, and civilians are pure improvisation. This does not mean civilians cannot survive. It means they must stop trying to play a game that was never designed for them. As long as civilians try to win the war, they lose. When they understand they only need to exist within it, their chances change. When war begins, many civilians make the same fatal mistake. They try to behave like soldiers. This mistake does not come from ignorance. It comes from fear. The human brain associates survival with action. And in popular imagination, action in war means force, confrontation, and speed. But modern war does not work that way for civilians. The first common mistake is seeking direct confrontation. Civilians believe they must actively defend themselves, show strength, be ready to fight. This is disastrous. Soldiers operate in groups with communication, cover, and logistics. Civilians operate alone or in small, improvised units. Any direct confrontation for a civilian is a roulette game. Even if they win, the cost is too high. Minor injuries become fatal. Noise attracts attention. Resources are wasted. There is no medical evacuation. In modern war, the civilian who seeks confrontation has already lost. The second mistake is constant movement. Soldiers move to accomplish missions. They have maps, intelligence, and coordination. Civilians move because they are anxious, because staying still feels dangerous, because they want to leave the hot zone. But movement without information creates exposure. Every relocation reveals position. Every unknown path adds invisible risks. Every new area demands immediate adaptation. For civilians, unnecessary movement multiplies danger instead of reducing it. The third mistake is overestimating personal resources. Civilians believe physical strength, improvised weapons, or purchased gear will solve the problem. But isolated tools do not replace systems. A soldier does not depend on a single item. They depend on training, support, planning, and redundancy. Civilians trust what they hold in their hands. They ignore what they lack behind them. When something fails, there is no backup. The fourth mistake is acting on incomplete information. In modern war, information arrives fragmented, delayed, or false. Civilians make rapid decisions based on rumors, videos, messages, and assumptions. Soldiers are trained to operate with incomplete information. Civilians are not. Civilians want certainty. When they do not have it, they invent it. Invented decisions kill. The fifth mistake is confusing courage with recklessness. Civilians believe survival requires boldness, that something dramatic must be done. War does not reward isolated bravery. It punishes exposure. Soldiers are aggressive only when advantage exists. Civilians cannot identify that advantage, so they act at the wrong time, in the wrong place, in the wrong way. The sixth mistake is copying military behavior without context. Civilians imitate posture, language, and tactics seen in movies, games, or videos. Without training, this becomes dangerous imitation. Crawling without cover, carrying unnecessary weight, trying to watch everything at once, sleeping poorly from constant paranoia. These behaviors destroy physical and mental energy. The seventh mistake is refusing to accept limitations. Soldiers know exactly what they can and cannot do. Civilians believe they can figure it out. Modern war does not forgive prolonged improvisation. The longer it lasts, the more expensive each mistake becomes. Civilians do not die because they do not fight. They die because they fight incorrectly. The difference between survival and disappearance is accepting an uncomfortable truth. You are not a soldier, and trying to be one is the shortest path to the end. If you are a civilian, you must accept one basic rule. You do not win the war. You cross the war. The civilian protocol begins with a mindset shift. Do not seek confrontation. Do not seek total control. Do not seek advantage. Seek functional invisibility. The first rule is reducing exposure. Less movement, less noise, fewer visual signals. Anything that draws attention increases risk for civilians. The second rule is slow and consistent decision-making. Civilians die by deciding to fast. Speed creates mistakes. Mistakes create irreversible consequences. If there is no immediate threat, do not act. Waiting is a valid action. The third rule is conserving mental energy. Do not try to monitor everything. Do not try to understand everything. Do not try to predict everything. Choose a few indicators. Nearby sound. Environmental change. Real scarcity. Ignore the rest. The fourth rule is minimal routine. Even in chaos, the body needs pattern. Drink at approximate times. Eat little, but regularly. Rest in short cycles. Routine reduces anxiety. Anxiety leads to poor decisions. The fifth rule is not imitating soldiers. You do not need to move like one, speak like one, act like one. Civilians survive by doing the opposite. Avoid, hide, remain. The sixth rule is a single objective: not saving the world, not helping everyone, not winning anything. The objective is simple. Reach the next day with fewer losses than yesterday. If you repeat this, you create time. And time is the only real advantage civilians have. Modern war was not designed for civilians to shine. It was designed to crush those who play the wrong game. Accept your limitations. use them as protection, and survive by not being seen.